Hey guys, welcome. It's Doug Spurling again here with Spurling TV, episode number 2. Again, for those who are either new to me or new to this, my name is Doug Spurling. I own Spurling Training Systems in Kennebunk, Maine. We are a performance and fat loss training gym, really specializing in the middle-aged mom, 30 to 50, who's probably put everybody else first and has not taken care of themselves, so they maybe gained some weight, had some stress, eating poorly, etc. And our goal is the 3 to 4 hours a week that they spend with us is that kind of time to get away, to reduce some stress, and hopefully, obviously, achieve some fitness results as well. This particular medium is my way of answering 2 or 3 of your most pressing questions on fitness, nutrition, or personal development. So if you have questions, you can always drop them in the comments below, and I will fit them into a future episode. Today's episode is a little bit more of a nutrition themed, as well as I have a question on personal finance. So I'll get to the 2 nutrition questions first, and then I will get to the personal finance one. And again, if you have questions for the future, please just drop them in the comments below. So let me first preface this by saying nutrition is not my specialty. I have a very base knowledge of it from my undergraduate and then master's degree in sports science, but however, I don't claim to be an expert in it. I think I know a little bit more than the average Joe, but I am not certainly a registered dietitian or a nutrition certified expert. I would maybe I'll have one of my coaches, Trent. He's nutrition coach certified through Precision Nutrition, which is a very high level nutrition coaching group out in our industry. I may have him on for a future episode, but I will give you some of my opinion, and I just want you to kind of take it from that and not really I guess just have that understanding going into the answers. So the first question comes from Chris, and he says, "What are your top 1 or 2 supplements that you recommend to people?" And my first comment on supplements is to understand the word supplement is supposed to be in addition or a supplement to an already existing healthy diet. So I think the biggest misconception with supplements is people think that they can fix a poor diet with shoving pills down their throats or drinking shakes. They read the quick fixes and the gimmicky marketing, and they think that that's going to fix an unhealthy diet. So it's first understanding that you need to have a healthy diet, and then we can look at adding a couple supplements. So the number 1 supplement that I do recommend once you have a healthy diet is a whey protein shake. That is something that I think we can never, we always struggle with getting enough protein. The benefits of protein are enormous, not only in muscle repair, but also in fullness. So a lot of people, we're eating when we're not even hungry, and protein can help keep you full longer, so you're not eating as frequently, etc. Many benefits of protein, and of course we can get those through our macro food, our macronutrients, our food, like the meats and the eggs and the dairy products, etc. However, if you feel you're not getting enough protein and you have a pretty healthy diet, a whey protein shake may be a nice supplement to your diet. I think timing-wise, there's really no exact science of when you have to have it. Most people time it post-workout, so after they had a workout, they'll either buy a shake or mix the powder into a shaker bottle, shake it up with some water, and have the shake. It's a nice, easy, quick, on-the-go, fast, convenient way to get an extra 20 or 30 grams of protein. So I think a lot of people can benefit from that. More so for most people on the fullness factor of what protein does to you. Helps keep you full without adding a ton of calories. As far as a quick recommendation, I'm not biased to a particular brand. Just 100% whey protein would be my recommendation. And we particularly sell Quest Nutrition whey protein. The only reason we sell that is because it's 100% whey protein, and it mixes really well. The consistency tastes really well. But I'll let you kind of make your own decision on that. My last comment on whey protein and really protein in general, I guess, is a rough goal is 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Very rough goal. Everybody's different, but 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you should be getting 150 grams of protein. That's a very rough goal. Some people need a little bit more. Some people don't need as much. Rough goal. But again, I think the biggest fear is that we're having too much protein with the whole, kidney processing, etc. just know that's really an excessive amount. Like I'm talking 4 to 5, 6, 7, 8 times your body weight in protein, which would be damn near impossible to get. So don't be afraid of it. A nice little protein supplement can always be helpful for you. And my other one that I think is a big one is greens, a green supplement. So that is basically all the benefits of vegetables, all the vitamins, what we call micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, etc., in a powder form. So we know in today's society, everybody's go, 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 and they may not have time to have more than 1 or 2 servings of vegetables a day. I think it's pretty easy to get vegetables. You know, you can throw some quick peppers and onions in your omelet, and then of course have some with dinner. But if you're finding that you're struggling getting vegetables in, a green supplement may be beneficial to you. So it's just a powder form, throw it in a shake, mix it up, and you get all the vitamins and minerals that we know are essential for a healthy body. My third one would be a fish oil. This is where you're going to get all your healthy fats and omega-3s. Really good for brain health and more the neurological or neuromuscular side of things. Many benefits I won't get into today. I will tell you that it's more of a behind the scenes thing. So the healthy fats, sure, it has a little bit of weight loss benefit, but a lot of it's the behind the scenes stuff that, you know, cardiovascular health, brain health, etc., that you don't actually see in the mirror, but your body will thank you 20, 30, 40 years later. It's also very cheap. You can get a big bottle of it fairly cheaply. And it's just nice to make it part of your morning routine, you know, before you brush your teeth every morning, pop the fish oils. But again, it's not a quick fix. It's more of a long-term health thing. But I think many people do not get enough of the healthy fats, the omega-3s that come from like a fish, which most of us in the American diet don't eat a ton of that. So the omega-3s are a nice way. So whey protein, the green supplement, and fish oil would be my 3 recommendations on that. Caitlin asked a question on, you know, macronutrients, micronutrients. I've read on it, but how do I fit that into a daily plan? So it's a whole nother topic. It could be its own presentation. It could be its own seminar. I'll explain it as briefly as I can. Macronutrients are your fats, your carbohydrates, and your proteins. Micronutrients are your vitamins, water, minerals, etc. That stuff, the micronutrients, I don't want to say don't worry about it. If you're taking your greens, if you're having lots of fruits and vegetables, if you're drinking lots of water, that should take care of itself over here. The 3 macronutrients, carbohydrates, fats, proteins, there's all different kinds of information out there saying how much you should have of each. For me, I'm a big simple guy, and I think that all too often we try to find the quick fix and we try to find the right answer, and really it's just execution of all these information. Information overload is great. Reading about it is great, but then what do I actually do for action is more important. So the simplest rule of thumb that I try to follow is a third, a third, a third. 33, 33, 33%. So a third of your diet's protein, a third of your diet is carbohydrates, and a third of your diet is fat. Again, super basic, but if you're doing that, you'll probably see some good results. Go back to that protein rule that I talked about, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Make sure the majority of your carbs are coming from complex carbs, not the quick processed foods. That's pretty obvious. And your fats are coming from your healthy fats, your avocados, your fishes, etc. But yeah, I think a third, a third, a third. If you're tracking your food, which that actually ties nicely into personal finance. If you're not tracking your food, you don't know what you're eating. So the first step would be to get an app like MyFitnessPal or just journal your food on a good old pen and paper. Write it down, and just where are you starting at is step 1. Don't try to make all these changes when you don't even know where you're starting at. Take a 3 or 7 day log of what you're eating and see what percentage are you of protein right now, what percentage. And again, there's a million ways to tackle it, but I think the simplest is, are you getting 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, and are you roughly around a third, a third, a third? I'm sure we could argue changing those in either direction, but for the base of simplicity, for most people, that's a really good rule of thumb. So my action item for you would be to journal your food, see where you're starting, and then look at, okay, what foods are high in protein that I can get it up, because I guarantee you're probably not at a third of protein, and then make the others fit. What you'll find, the cool thing about protein is if the protein is in line, the carbohydrates and the fats tend to fall into place. It's really kind of interesting. If you're getting enough protein, the number of calories, the number of carbohydrates, the number of fats, that stuff almost falls in place. Meaning, if you need to get a lot of protein, that probably means you're eating lots of high protein foods, which keep you full, so you're not eating all the crap, and they also have the proper number of carbs and fats. So it's really nice. Again, I'm a fan of simplicity. Focus on the protein, and you'll find that the other two will just kind of fall into place. So final question for today was a question from Tim, and he asked, personal finance, what are your top 2 tips on personal finance? This is kind of a side passion of mine. I always say that my extreme passion is business, leadership, personal development through the eyes of a gym owner or through the eyes of the fitness field. So I thoroughly enjoy coaching and the fitness side of things, but kind of my hobby, let's call it, is more the business and the personal development, personal finance side of things. So this actually ties nicely into nutrition because I think they're both very similar. My top tip on personal finance is get a budget. Write down what you spend every single month, because similar to food, if you don't know, then you don't know where to start. You don't know where your weak points are. So my first step would be I usually take, if you've never done it before, take 3 months, because you may have 1 month that's a little skewed. But 3 months, write everything, your $2 coffee, all the way up to your rent and your mortgage and your utilities and all the big ones, but all the way down, because what you'll find is those small little coffees add up, and last thing you check, and you're spending $400 a year on coffee or more. So budget, which is first writing down everything that you spend, and then adjust. And maybe it's just an eye-opener, similar to when you write down food, you're like, holy shit, I didn't realize I was eating that much, or I didn't realize I was having that much of something, or whatever. I think writing down everything that you spend, from there, you can then create a budget and say, okay, I'm gonna designate $100 towards meals and entertainment for the week. I'm gonna designate $50 towards gas. So you can kind of divvy up and stay below that. And then my other tip, which again, it's funny how much of this stuff crosses, and I think that's why I like it, is to make smaller plates in nutrition has always been a good tip. So everyone wants to fill their plate, and so if you have a big plate, you're just going to fill it. But instead of trying to change the habit of not eating as much, how about you just change the size of your plate, and now you still have that satisfaction of having a full plate, but it's less food because the plate's smaller. And I think with personal finance, you can do the same thing. You will always spend what you make. You will always spend what you make. If you make 50 grand, you'll spend 50 grand. If you make 100 grand, you'll spend 100 grand. So if you make it seem like you have less money, you'll spend less money. So my tip is to automate all of your long-term savings. So once you have your budget down and the first thing you want to take care of is how much can you put away each month, and put that away first. So when your paycheck comes into your checking account, you actually have 2 or 3 sub-accounts that as soon as it hits that main account, it goes off in 2 or 3 directions. And the first are call it your profits, your personal profits, like a profits of a business. That's first, profit first. So my first, when the paycheck lands in that main checking account, the first thing that's going to happen is I'm going to have a designated transfer, automatic transfer to my retirement plan. And then I'm going to have an automatic transfer to my long-term savings, maybe like a 10-year or 15-year plan, maybe like a house or a vacation house, depending upon where you are in life, something that's a little bit bigger, but it's not quite retirement. And then a short-term, like 3 to 5 year plan, whatever that may be for your life. Maybe that is the house, maybe that is a wedding, etc. 3 to 5 year short-term. So you have your big 3 buckets that are a little bit more of that long-term. So now all of a sudden, for simple math, let's say you got a $2,000 check. Maybe 1,000 of that, 500, 250, and 250, now that's gone. And it's not gone, it's still yours, but you don't see it. It's out of sight, out of mind, and that's automated every single month. And so now you only spend $1,000. And so maybe 600 of that goes towards rent, and you get gas and you get food, and what ends up happening is you end up spending consciously less because you see less in your bank account. But at the same time, what do most people do? They get that $2,000, they write their checks, and then they see what's left and they put it in there. But what ends up happening? The quick dinner out, the quick on-the-go coffee, etc. You will always spend what you see, what you have, you will always spend. And it just never ends up saving any money. You think you make more money, but then you just spend more money. But if you call it, there's a great book out there called Profit First, and it's the idea that the first thing that you do when money comes in is put away the profit, put away what you want to save first. Make that checking account seem small, like there's nothing in there, because all the money that just came in is gone into another account that you're not going to use until long-term plans or whatever. So again, you got to have first idea of what you're spending, get your budget down, and then you can look at divvying it up, automate it. I'm a huge fan of automation. Set it and forget it. Automate it so that as soon as it hits that one main account, that money to those long-term plans are gone first, number one, and then profit first, and then worry about, okay, here's how much I have left for bills. Not pay your bills first and okay, what's left. So reverse the standard method of kind of personal finance. So guys, those are the 3 questions for today. Wrapped up in about 15 minutes. Hopefully you liked it. Again, I would appreciate any feedback, and if you have any comments, comments or questions, I would love to answer them. Just post them below. I'll be back next week with another episode. Thanks, guys.